Well, welcome to the MBA50 Business School video series. I'm with Rahul Baghde, who's an Indian student here at the CEIBS Business School in Shanghai. Rahul, thank you very much for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I am basically an industry engineer. I did my engineering from one of the schools in India. And then I spent like 11 years in the supply chain domain, cutting across 3 continents. I worked in India, US, and then worked 2 years in China before actually deciding to go for MBA at CEIBS.
Right, so already had a very international professional experience. Right. And in terms of the choice of business school, you just wanted more of China, or perhaps a deeper understanding of the business culture?
Well, I spent 2 years in China, and I felt that I still don't understand much about China. And when I talked to the alumni of the school, I got this sense that there's no better place to understand China than CEIBS. So that was one motivation. Along with China, since I was staying here, I talked to the faculty, I talked to the students. So you get the sense that in terms of networking within the industry, the school is amazing. I've been experiencing it for the last 18 months. Even if you look at the faculty bios and all, attracting the global faculties in China, the school is doing tremendously good. So all these factors, help me that, if I want to do anything with China, there's no better place than CEIBS.
What sort of really stood out about the school and the experience that you've had here?
Well, as I said, I think personally, I learned a lot from the events that are outside the curriculum. They invite a lot of global CEOs to come to the CEIBS and talk about what they see China, how they see the future of China. And those seminars or those events were really helpful for me in the sense, trying to understand the practical experience. I met a CEO of Honeywell. He spent 17 years in China. So when he talks about China, it's hard that he's picking up. So it was very motivating, inspiring to hear those guys. We heard Andrew Leveris, who is the global CEO of Dow, and how he sees future of manufacturing in China. So I think, other than the curriculum, these are the networking events or the seminars. They have taught me more than the curriculum itself.
Right. Did you speak Chinese before you came here?
Well, I learned basic Chinese, and I even attended the part-time sessions in the school. But since I was working part-time and doing full-time MBA, I could not focus much on learning Chinese. But now I can survive. I can speak basic Chinese. And this is the period now I want to focus on my Chinese.
Right. Do you feel that that's important in terms of your next career steps?
That's absolutely important. I worked here for 2 years. That is not the time when I felt Chinese is so. But as I see my future, and when it comes to migrating from your own industry to a new industry, especially in consulting or finance, this is very key. Without business Chinese, it's very difficult to get a job in those sectors.
Now, China and India stand out in the global economy in terms of the economic growth that they've enjoyed. Is it a very different sort of growth that you've observed here? How do you compare with what India is experiencing at the moment?
Well, if you see, I am more optimistic on China for the reason that, especially for the people from the West, understand that democracy makes growth or the decision making a little bit slow. And that is what we see in India. But in spite of that, India managed to grow at a considerable 7 to 8% growth in the last decade. And the credit goes to a lot of private entrepreneurs, I would say, in India. The quality of the institutions, the public institution, is better in India than in China in terms of the comparison. But the determination and focus that you see in China from the government, to really take China to the next level, I think that is somewhere in India is missing. So there's no doubt in my mind, that eventually India will catch up. So the way we look at it, this decade belongs to China, but the next decade is going to be, of India.
And you hope to sort of make a bridge between the two countries with your background and
right. I would see myself put at a very sweet point where I want to spend this decade in China, and this experience will help me a lot when India starts up, coming up.
Right. Do you have any advice to other young professionals in terms of the admissions process?
Well, I would say that since the motto of CEIBS is China depth and global breadth, it would be advisable that you know more about China before you even start considering CEIBS. I have seen that plays out a very positive factor, that if you have some connection to China, even in terms of language, business, that helps you, make your case stronger, for the CEIBS admission. Other than that, I would say, even in Asia, this is probably the most diversified in terms of the students coming from 25 plus countries and all. So you have to come with that open mind that you are going to enter a new sort of environment, and if you are fond of that, if you like that kind of environment, then this is the best school.
Right. How did you finance your MBA?
Well, I was working here, kind of semi-expect assignment, so I could save a considerable amount of money here, with MBA in mind. And I was fortunate to get CEIBS scholarship, CEIBS merit scholarship. So that kind of eased out my pressure and financial pressure. Plus my wife, she got a job in China. She's an IT professional. So in terms of arranging finances, it was not a big issue for me. But I see the case for a lot of Indian students who come here. But in terms of the scholarship, I think school is really doing well, and this year, in fact, we see more scholarship. We have even scholarship for Indian students, given by Huawei. They sponsor 10 students globally, So that helps a lot in terms of getting the finances for students.
Good luck with that, and at the end of the program in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.